Hi everybody, I hope that everybody's doing well and staying safe and healthy. I really miss having you all in class, and hopefully soon we will be together in class, but for now I have some more video stuff that I would like for you guys to do. And let's go do it. Okay, so our new assignment is called Color Your Words. Those of you who were able to do the assignment last week, which was saying a sentence 5 different ways, this is kind of the same thing, except that what we're doing is we're just focusing on specific words. And let's see. What I want you to do is I'm going to read a list of words, and after each group, I want you to read them with color. In other words, you need to say them with as much expression as you can. Okay, the first time you read these words, I want you to read them neutral, cold, warm, freezing, sweltering, breezy, still, windy, stormy, calm. Okay? No emotion, no coloring of those words, just the words themselves. Now, I'm going to put those words back up on the screen, and I want you to pause the video, and I want you to read those words and color them. Put as much expression as you can, conveying the meaning of that particular word. For instance, cold. Oh, cold. It's a lot you can put into that word. So that's what I want you to do. And I want you to do that in 3 groups. And I have them listed. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. I'm going to put each group on, and then after a couple of seconds, the next group's going to go on. So you'll have to start and stop the video as you go to each group. There's only 3, so after the 3rd group, you're done. When you do that, go ahead and record yourself so that you can see how you can change the way that word is colored. All right, go for it. Okay, so I hope that went well. It's really interesting how you can say a word and really bring a lot of emotion and color into that. And being able to do that has a lot to do with experience. So you know how it feels, and you can express that in saying the word. So for instance, the word cold. Cold. By using your memories and your experiences with the word cold, you can bring all of that into the word when you use it. You can using it in any script or sentence that you have to say. This is something that can really help you add color to your lines and to your characters in the way that you say lines. If your character has a specific experience with a particular word because you've created that in your building of that character in your mind of who their past was, who they know, how they feel about things. The way they color that word might be very different from the way you might color that word. Okay, so for the next thing I want you to do, I'm going to play some music. And this music is going to just be instrumental. And what I want you to do is I want you to pull out a piece of paper, and I want you to just doodle how it makes you feel. Don't write words. I mean, you can write words if you like to, but I really encourage you to just kind of feel the music and just draw on the page how that music is making you feel. All right, let's go. Okay, so how'd it go? How did you like that? I hope that you were able to really listen to the music and just feel deeply how that affected you. Look at your sheet of paper, see how the music affected you. Look and see if you can see something that might have changed because the music changed, because as the music changed, maybe it affected you differently. You know, that's part of acting. When someone else is acting with you, they're bringing in, excuse me, another element that you have to react to. So you have to dig deep, listen to the people that are in your scene with you, and draw from them their emotions. Listen to them, focus on them. Eye contact, when it's a really important part of the scene, really helps you to connect with that person. And when you're connecting at that level with someone, another actor on stage, you can start to react to what they're saying to you instead of just trying to act. Again, acting is reacting and exploring what's going on inside. That music was an external force, and I was hoping that that would help you to draw from inside the emotions that it invoked. Okay, so now it's time for our assignment. This week we're going to be reading prose. Now, prose is just a fancy name for a short story. Now, anybody can read a short story, but to read a short story and really capture the attention of the audience, and that takes a lot of skill. So that's what we're going to be working on this week. For this class, you are given a link to a folder for the class, and in that there will be an assignment folder. And in that assignment folder, you will find a document that's called Color Your Words, and that's where I have this assignment. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because in this particular assignment, you're going to be reading prose. And so in that folder, I have listed some prose. Each class, like for instance, I have musical theater classes, I have acting skills classes, and I have drama technique classes. Each class will have different prose or short stories in their documents. So some of the things I might say during this might not exactly apply to you, but in general, it should all mean the same thing, because I'm going to just do one video and try to give you an idea of what I want you to do. For the assignment, what I want you to do, the first thing is I want you to look at these short stories, and I want you to pick one. Once you've picked it, I want you to just read it to yourself. Just read it and get a feel for it one time through. Okay, after you've read through that document, I want you to write down some of the feelings you got from it. Now, this is an external source, so you've just read the story. It's the first impression that you've had of the story. Write down some feelings that you had about it, maybe some words that jumped out at you. How would you color that word? How does it make you feel? All right. Now, you're going to read it again to yourself. And this time, after you read it, I want you to look at the words that are in the document and circle some of those colorful words, some of those words that invoke an emotion in you or a feeling or that you kind of have a connection with. Circle them. Think about how you might say those. Think about how they make you feel. All right. Now, after you've done those two steps, reading it twice to yourself with those different objectives, I want you to read it out loud. This is the first time you've actually heard it out loud. First time you've actually had to hear yourself saying it. How did that make you feel? Think about it. Write it down. Write down some of the emotions and feelings that you had about reading it out loud. This is a different experience for you, something that you can emotionally connect with. All right? Now, the last step is I want you to read it out loud as if you are the person in the story, or that you have been the observer of the story. And I want you to read it in a way that's believable. Say you're telling me or a friend this story. How would you do that? Now, because I do have different classes, this objective is going to change slightly. For instance, my acting skills class, you have some stories that say he said this, she said this, and there's some dialogue. So in that, you might want to try to use different voices for the different people in the story, talking back and forth. Now, for some of my older classes, you have stories that are short, but they're more vague. They're kind of a context of their own. So you wouldn't have that specifically. It's more a person just talking about an experience, or how would they deal with this. Anyway, you know what I mean because you've read the stories. So those will be different. Those are just some things I wanted to give you some little insight on. And so let's try that. Go ahead, do that, stop the video, go through this, do this assignment, and then come back to the video. Okay, so that's the video portion of our class this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something from it, and I hope that you can apply these techniques to your characters and to your scenes. Have a great week. Bye-bye.